Don't forget to subscribe to both Recollection Road channels so you never miss a new video. Also, make sure to share and like the video to help it reach more people. Now let's take a look at the story of Bob Evans. In 1946, a man named Bob Evans opened a small 12-stool diner in Gallipolis, Ohio, called the Bob Evans Steakhouse. The diner specialized in steaks, but rather than just dinner service, the restaurant was open 24 hours a day. This meant that breakfast was offered too, and truckers passing through would often stop in and have breakfast. By 1948, Evans was in search of a good sausage to serve at his restaurant, but he struggled to find something that was a real quality product, so he decided to make his own. His sausage patties were made from the very best pork that came from his own farm. The popularity of his sausage led him to begin delivering it around town, and it even led to the purchase of a large farm in Rio Grande, Ohio. The success of his sausage, also aided by the help of business partners, led Evans to incorporate, and he began shipping his sausage products across Ohio. His farm, which he called the Homestead, became a bit of an attraction with people often stopping by, so Evans decided to open a restaurant on the property in 1962. He called this 12-seat restaurant the Sausage Shop. Within a few years, the new restaurant was very successful, and he began to look at opening another location. In 1968, the second location opened in Chillicothe, Ohio, about an hour away from the farm, and this one was just called Bob Evans. The farmhouse-style design of the restaurant was reminiscent of the Homestead Farm, but the original menu was much different, serving fast food-style burgers and fries. Pretty quickly, they realized they needed to return to a more hearty, country style of food. Bob Evans' restaurant locations were gradually added over the years. These new locations were completely company-owned, which helped to maintain consistency. In 1974, the company opened its first restaurant outside of Ohio, and this one was located in Florence, Kentucky. Throughout the 1970s, Bob Evans expanded further into other surrounding states. They had become a regional restaurant chain and were closing in on 100 locations, which occurred in 1983. The founder and namesake, Bob Evans, decided to retire from the business in 1986. Although he was stepping away from the business side of things, he continued to be a key figure and a big influence on the chain of restaurants. Part of the appeal of the Bob Evans brand is the farm-style red building with white trim. The signature of Bob Evans adorns the facade, and it invites you in to have a home-cooked meal that might include his famous sausage. Bob Evans never strayed far from his country roots, and the menu at his restaurants has done the same. Evans always found that people enjoyed being on the farm, and they were willing to pay a little more for something that was made fresh, so he tried to deliver that experience to his customers. The Bob Evans name was not just about the restaurants, though. They had also turned the sausage-making endeavor into a complete food service division that supplied packaged food to grocery stores. By 1993, 30% of sales came from their packaged food products. Around this same time, Bob Evans also decided to enter the Mexican restaurant market. During this time, Mexican restaurants were very popular and were competing for Bob Evans' customers, so the company opened a restaurant called Cantina del Rio in Columbus, Ohio. The intention was to open even more locations, but the concept did not take off. This also didn't make the real Bob Evans very happy, because he was left out of the loop and wasn't consulted about the new endeavor. He thought the plan was a disaster, and it turned out to be. By the mid-2000s, Bob Evans boasted nearly 600 locations, with sales reaching $1.6 billion, and they had locations in 18 states. They also acquired the Mimi's Cafe chain and still had a very successful food products division, selling in grocery stores. But in 2007, the founder of the company, Bob Evans, died at the age of 89. His legacy was honored by the Ohio governor, who said his life's work was bringing the warmth, hospitality, and good food of Ohio to the rest of the nation. Evans would also be inducted into the National 4-H Hall of Fame after nearly 40 years of promoting the agriculture industry and being involved in the youth organization. Following the passing of Bob Evans, the business was ready to make some changes too. Despite the long success of the brand, both the restaurants and the food division were getting ready to be sold. In 2017, first the restaurant chain was sold to Golden Gate Capital for $565 million, and then later that year, the food products division was sold to cereal company Post, paying shareholders $77 per share, which is not too shabby for the humble beginnings of that 12-seat steakhouse. Now, the old homestead in Rio Grande, Ohio is still around too. It's now called Bob Evans Farm and is listed on the National Register of Historic Places. The house on the property has become the Homestead Museum, which tells the Bob Evans story. There is also a Bob Evans Farm Festival, which is held every year at the farm during the second weekend of October, with crafts, antiques, and entertainment for families. Let me know in the comments your own memories of Bob Evans restaurants, and let me know if you've ever been to the farm in Rio Grande. If you enjoyed this video, click on this playlist to watch even more. And as always, thank you so much for watching.